there was many months here where we wondered if this guy was going to return to San Diego State because he had declared his intentions to find out if there was a professional future for him in 2020. I think a lot of San Diego State fans would have been happy for Matt Mitchell had he decided to turn pro. I think they're happy that he's decided to return for his senior season at Sdsu. Matt Mitchell joins us on Xtra 1360. Matt, Darren Smith, thank you very much for taking the time today.
I appreciate you for having me, Darren.
How's it going? How's life? How is life? And when I say that, like I mean it, like in all sincerity. Like how is life, man? Like I keep asking people that question because obviously, Matt, this is a time in our lives that whether you're my age or your age, none of us have ever experienced before.
Nah. Well, yeah. I everything is going well. I think my experiences over the summer and just all through this through these protocols and different predicaments I've had to persevere through, and really get through have made me just a better person overall. But I feel like my experience, having put my name in the draft was a good one. I really got out of it that I just need to make the right play and get myself in the best shape as possible, and I'll work myself into a job.
Did you get feedback from the experience? Again, totally different. There was no sort of combine. I don't know what you were allowed to do or not to do, Matt, and certainly I wouldn't want to push too far into your private life. But did you get any sort of feedback as to where you were in the eyes of professional basketball evaluators?
Yeah, I did. I did get quite a bit of feedback. Um, I mean, it was just all predicated upon me being in fitness and being in the right mindset, the right shape, and just being able to make the right play. So I think myself in pretty good standing for this upcoming year. But right now, I'm just trying to focus on this upcoming college year and this year with my teammates, and a year to get better as one and try and make another run for it.
I love that. Matt Mitchell is joining us on Extra 1360. And in the meanwhile, while you are talking to whomever is in your inner circle, Matt, about the decisions that lie ahead for you professionally speaking, or the decision to come back to college, what about teammates? What about coaches? What about people at San Diego State? What role do they play in any of that? I've always found Brian Dutcher to very much be somebody who will shoot you straight. What role do teammates play and coaches play as your brain is trying to process all the options that you have in front of you?
Well, as far as external sources being playing a part in this, I think the coaching staff here and their ability to be able to push me to be better, and my teammates their ability to be able to push me to be better as well, and just coming back and being able to play with these guys for another year, knowing that we're going to be good and have the talent to play at a high level again, just like we did last year. So for me, that's what played a part in it. But other than that, I think I'm just trying to make the best decision for me, and I think this decision is to come back and be here for my senior year, get my diploma, and finish it out as strong as I can do on the court.
Love that. Matt Mitchell is joining us on Extra 1360. I remember last time, I don't know the exact date, Matt, but the last time that we spoke on the show, I want to say you guys played the Mountain West Conference Final on the 7th day of March. I think we spoke the following week, and then the NCAA obviously made the decision that it made. Do you ever get over losing out on the opportunity that you guys would have had last year, heading into the NCAA tournament? Because, again, like we were talking about playing in front of fans or not playing in front of fans, right? Like who knew what was going to happen when we spoke in the second week of March? How often do you think about the season that you guys had last year and the opportunities that you had right in front of you?
I try not to think about it too often, but every so often it creeps back in your mind, and you think about what could have been. But I think that me and the guys that are returning and the guys that were there last year, and went through it all, are just trying to focus on this year and keeping that chip on your shoulder. Just knowing that there are doubters that'll say that we can't do that again. That'll say that we can't be that good and that good of a team. I mean, we can't just go and say that we're going to be 30-2, but we can try and be the best us that we can be. And so for us, it's just that putting that chip on our shoulder and trying to go for it again.
Do you have any doubts that you could find yourself in a similar position heading into 2020 and 2021, this upcoming season, your senior season?
I think if we take it one game at a time, I think we'll put ourselves in the best position possible to be where we were last year and to make another tournament run.
I like you're going cliche on us, huh? One game at a time. Come on, who's?
It's
I
got to
get
be.
it.
It's got to be. It's just how we got to roll. Is the way this team has clicked, has rolled over time. This program, always taking one game at a time, and just trying to stop that person ahead of you.
Matt Mitchell's joining us on Xtra 1360. So tell us a little bit about this team. Again, we will see. I don't know who you're going to be playing your first game. I don't know where you're going to be playing your first game. I don't know that you have any insight on that. But that said, you would have a sense of what this team at least looks like now heading into your senior season. Give us a sense of what you see and what you can share with our listeners about what to expect from San Diego State, the 2020-2021 version.
I believe this team in this upcoming year is going to be another high level team that's able to move the ball and get stops on the defensive end and get out and run. I think that's what the San Diego State team has meant over time, and I don't think we'll stop that trend.
You guys have made some changes. There's been, obviously some decisions. Players have moved on. Players have remained, etc. For you this year, what are you expecting just in terms of your role with your senior season squad?
I see my role as being more of a decision maker, and the ball being in my hands a little bit more, and just being able to make the plays. I don't necessarily think that all the plays are going to go towards me, where I'm going to have to take the shot, because people know that I am aggressive and I do score. And so it's more making the next play, making the right play, making the one more pass, getting somebody else open, getting Jordan a shot, Trey a shot, even Keith, all these guys that have talent, and getting these guys going and able to showcase their talents as well.
Can you explain what practice looks like for us in terms of what you are and aren't allowed to do? Again, because so much is different, this year, Matt, obviously, compared to previous conversations. But what is it that you all are allowed to do or not allowed to do as you're preparing for your final season here?
Right now, we've gone into our second week, ending the second week of our being able to play 5-on-5. So we're able to have full practices and play 5-on-5 in practice. But of course, when we're not in live sessions, we have to have a mask on and working out with that mask on. But when we're playing in segments, playing in 4-minute, 6-minute segments, we're able to take that mask off and be able to play freely. And so we're just trying to abide by all these protocols and get through it. We all want to play basketball, and we're going to do what it takes.
We heard a lot of stories, and this coming from NBA players, Matt. I'm sure you heard them as well because you're dialed in. You actually know a lot of these guys on a personal level. Who, when things got shut down all across the United States, there were NBA players who said that they hadn't picked up a basketball weeks, maybe even months. What about you? And that's just so unusual because anybody who knows the way basketball players are wired, they're always playing. Like they're always
Yep.
playing. They're playing 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 5-on-5, half court, full court, doesn't matter. What about you from the beginning of this? Was there a spell there? Were you able to continue to play and practice and shoot around a little bit? I mean, what was it like for you there since so many basketball players at the highest level here in this country were unable to continue along as normal?
Well, yeah, just like you said, for the first, I think, couple months, I hadn't touched the ball. I wasn't in the gym, wasn't able to get in the locker room, get in the gym. That we had previously had 24-hour access to, and just able to go in there and shoot. All that was shut down. I couldn't go back home and go to that gym that I used to play at in high school and play at Roosevelt and get to reminisce a little bit and be able to shoot. I couldn't do that, and so it was kind of just a stump. And so just being able to have this now, moving along the way that I have, being able to dribble outside and be able to work outside and shoot outside, and then slowly moving back onto the court. I think it's just made me appreciate the game a little bit more, and just made me want it that much more.
You have been a leader for as long as we've been speaking with Matt Mitchell on radio or in any sort of press session. We've known you to have leadership qualities. I wonder, Matt, listen, a million years ago, I was in college, all right? And I remember what it was like being a college student and some of the freedoms and some of the benefits that came with being a college student. Okay. I wasn't an athlete, but, still, I got to enjoy myself a little bit. For you, what sort of responsibility do you need to take on as a leader here with regards to, just making sure that everybody's doing the right thing? You talked about mask wearing, just making sure that everybody understands that for you, for your senior season here, let's not take any chances. Let's not put this season at risk. Let's make sure we're doing the responsible things.
Yeah, most definitely. I think that for me, it's trying to keep constant communication with these guys and keeping these guys on the same page. And all these guys have the right mind. They're all going into it with the mindset that anything you could do, just step outside and maybe try and go to one party, could end it all and set you back for 2 weeks. And here we are, supposed to start at the end of November, and here 2 weeks having to sit out, and then maybe we don't play our first couple games. And just knowing that there's that at the risk. So all these guys are taking it more than seriously and testing 3 times a week, and abiding by all the protocols. And we're just trying to be ready to play basketball. I think that's where our mind is going right now, and doing anything and everything we can to be healthy.
I'm telling you, I would have struggled with that when I was your age, Matt. I don't know that it's a difficult thing, or if you find it to be an easy thing because your priorities are in a totally different place than mine were when I was your age. But do you think that because you only get to go to college once, you know what I mean? And it's like your senior season, and part of the experience is playing hoops and traveling around and going to the tournament and all that sort of stuff. But part of it also is going to parties. I mean, how hard is it to be that structured and be that disciplined?
It's not hard at all. Well, at least not for me. I'm just the kind of guy that wants to get his job done, and then kind of just alone at home and doing his homework and then focusing on the next day. And a part of me is my body is too tired to do anything else, and so I just kind of want to ice and sit around and wait to get up in the morning and go at it again.
You and I would not have hung out a lot in college. for a lot of reasons,
not.
but yeah, probably not. You and I would have had totally different paths in college if you and I were of the same age, just so you know, because I was doing everything but what you were doing, Matt Mitchell. So I'm sure it makes people feel good to know that you are one of the senior leaders of the squad this year. You a Laker fan, by the way?
Not necessarily. I used to be when I was a kid. But I'm an OKC fan, but I will always have love for LA, and the Lakers and the Dodgers. And so I'm just happy that the titles were able to come back to the West Coast, and we're able to appreciate Kobe with all this and honor everything in his name.
OKC, how did that happen?
It kind of happened when Kevin Durant first came into the league, and he played with the Seattle Supersonics, and then Russell Westbrook, James Harden followed along. And I just like that young group, and I just stuck with it ever since.
All right. Well, I mean, Chris Paul this past year, so they had some success. They were a little bit better than I thought they were going to be.
Yeah.
I
they
thought
play
that was
team ball. They play team ball.
Sounds familiar.
Yes, it does.
Sounds very familiar. Matt, we appreciate it, man. We will talk to you soon. Looking forward to it. Gets underway in about a month. Knock on wood. We hope. We know everything is up in the air. It feels like at times, but appreciate you taking the time, catching up with us here on the radio. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you having me. You have a good one.
Thank you. That is Matt Mitchell, who is hard to believe now a senior